Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, September 12th, 2019. We again find ourselves in the final hour of the market. So as I mention every day, I believe that the prices during the last hour of the market and in particular the prices that you can get as close to the close of the day, a lot of closes in there, are really the most valid prices. You have so much volume coming into the last minute, and that's what people are doing. They're waiting for the last minute because they also feel like those prices are the most valid prices to make buying and selling decisions from. So anyway, we are again having a really nice day today. The Dow Jones is up 130 points, 0.48%. The NASDAQ is up just about 50 points, up 0.61%. And the S&P is up 16 points, just about a 0.5% as well. So everything is going well. Our positions are doing nicely today, all of them. So I am thankful for that. So let's take a look here and see if everybody can hear me. John says, hey buddy, how you doing? John says, I buy O. Is O a symbol? Kind of sounds like it would be. Realty Income Corporation. All right, so we'll take a look at that in a little bit. But thank you, John, for coming by. Hey, Steve Burns, good to see you, my friend. Steve says the Bulls are back in control. Yes, in a big way, aren't they? Thank you, Steve, for coming by. Appreciate it. I know you're having a monster day. Congratulations, my friend. It's good to be back in the green here in the last couple weeks, isn't it? But thank you so much for coming by. It's always an honor to have you here, Steve, and I know everyone's excited when you're in the chat, and I definitely am as well. So thank you so much. Murat says, hi Greg, managed to sit down a bit early today. Oh, good to see you, Murat. Thank you for coming by. Murat's our friend from Norway, so it's always great to have him. Hey Marco, good to see you, Marco. Marco says, hi all. Bulls are in. Yes, sir, they are. Oh, John says it was a mistake. Okay. Anthony Rizzo says, hey, all, trading is easy. Hey, Anthony. Good to see you, my friend. Looking forward to working with you tonight. Sometimes trading seems extremely easy. And sometimes trading seems extremely hard. I can't count how many times during my trading career where I thought, I don't think I'll ever make another penny. Like, how can you possibly make money in this particular market? You know what I mean? But then things sometimes turn on a dime and just go up. And if you're short right now, you're thinking, what the hell's going on? I mean, this can't go on forever. So things can go down longer than you think. Things can go up longer than you think. So all you can do, everybody, is just, stick with your plan. Your opinion in the market, honestly, it doesn't matter. The market is going to do what it's going to do, and it goes up longer than you think, and it's going to go down longer than you think. So there will be a time, Anthony, where you will say, oh, trading is so hard. What the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? But the key is to not blow up your account or damage your account during those times, so that you have the wherewithal and you have the gumption and the mental fortitude to take that next long position, and eventually you'll run into a big upward monster move. But if you're just so distraught and discouraged because you bet too much on a downtrend that went too far down, you're probably just not going to have it in you to take that next position. And of course, a lot of times that is the position that's going to go for you. So John says it's a typo. Well, we should look at it anyway. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe the typo was a sign, so we should look at it. Realty Income. Intraday, it did have a V1. I mean, it's not bad, actually. It's back in the value zone. But maybe that was a sign, John. Let's watch this in the future, because this actually is pretty good. I mean, this is up, back down into the value zone, starting to find some support. I wouldn't take the V1 up against this large bar, but let's watch this tomorrow. Maybe that will be good for all of us with your typo. Just joking, of course. I know you're joking. Hey, JT, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming by. It's always great to see you. So, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. this is going to be the format for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. We're going to get that out of the way. We're going to come back. We're going to go through all of my positions. We're going to talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, more importantly, how I'm going to manage them going forward. Then we are going to do a few minutes on trader psychology. As you know, trader psychology is the most important skill that you can learn, everybody. Managing your emotions is the most important skill you can learn. Sticking with your plan, not going outside of your plan. You know, not getting too depressed, not getting too excited, not putting on too big a position, not putting on too small of a position. But, you know, I mention this every day, but I want you to realize this. Managing your emotions is the skill in trading. Everybody thinks it's about charts, and it is to a degree for sure. But in the long run, think about managing your emotions, as that is the skill that makes you a good trader, right? Not that difficult with crossovers and RSIs and technicals. I mean, you have to learn it, but you know, it's not that difficult. Eventually you're going to get it. It's kind of color by numbers, but what's more important is how you manage yourself during good times and bad times. So think about that. How you manage your emotions, that's the skill. That's what you have to work on. All right. So anyway, we're going to do a few minutes on trader psychology, and we're going to come back. We're going to go through all of my watch list. We're going to go through each stock one by one. We're going to take a look at all the support levels, resistance levels. We're going to look at all the technicals, MACD, RSI, ATR channels, moving averages. And if we're lucky, we'll find a possible setup where we have a confluence of indicators. Whenever I look at an indicator, I look at it as groups of buyers. So if I want something to go up, I want to be in the company of other buyers to drive it up, right? So, you know, with each indicator, I look at it as a group of buyers. But if I can get a multiple grouping of indicators, if I can get a combination or a confluence of indicators, then I have even more buyers. So that's really how I approach looking for entries. Just because I have a lot of indicators matching up or lining up, stars aligning, doesn't mean it's going to go up, but you know, it does, I think, give me a better advantage. It gives me a better edge. It's better to have a combination of signals if you want something to go up. And then if we find something at the end of the day that meets my criteria, we'll go ahead and take a position, if and only if we find something, right? And then after the market closes, I'll get to your comments, questions. If you have any questions about what I did today, if you're not sure, you need clarification, please just let me know. I'm happy to answer it for you. If you want me to take a look at any particular stocks or symbols, I'm happy to do that as well. Or if you have questions about anything having to do with trading or trading psychology, anything that I didn't even cover today, feel free to let me know and I'll do my best to answer. All right. So that is the plan. So I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. So hang tight for about 40 seconds and I will be right back. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, thanks for holding through me with that. So listen, having a little bit of an issue today with Trade Navigator. I was on the phone with them earlier. Unfortunately, any stock symbols from the New York Stock Exchange, they're having an issue with the connection with the feed. So there are some symbols that I have real-time data, and there are some signals, as you can see, DDM, the last day was the 12th or the 11th, and it's not showing today. So they say they're working on it. Maybe it will come back in. but I have a feeling it's probably not going to be resolved for till tomorrow. So it's kind of unfortunate. Um, so we'll just have to do our best. Luckily, most of the positions I have are indexes, which are from the New York Stock Exchange feed. I did mark where I hit profit targets. These are mechanical system. These are mechanical trades, so I'm not too worried about it. But it is a good idea. This is a good example of a good idea where you have some redundancy, whether or not, from your brokers, you have other charts, things like that. And also having redundancy, if your internet goes out, maybe having a hotspot on your phone. If I had to do a hotspot on the phone, I'm not sure I could do the live stream. I mean, we'll see. Maybe it will happen, but I'm not sure if it would be strong enough to pump it through. So, anyway, a little bit of a handicap today with this, but some of the stocks do have the real time data today, and so when we go through the watch list, I already marked the ones that do have real-time data today. And if there's something that you'd like me to look at, if you find something that you find interesting, let me know and we'll look at it, and hopefully it won't be part of the New York Stock Exchange. So when we go through the watch list, this will be abbreviated. And I think what we can do is we can go through like the NASDAQ 100 real quick, because most of those should have real-time data. So apologize about that, but there's really nothing I can do. They're having a problem with their New York Stock Exchange feed. John says, I wanted to say I buy for a penny, I sell for 2, and I'm happy with the 1% markup. Oh, I see. Hey, I'm always happy with 1% for sure. Murat says, Anthony is right. Trading is easy if you have a system to follow. You have 3 options. If you stay aside, if you have a system, it is easy to trade. Otherwise, it is terribly difficult. Man, that's so true, Murat. It is so true. If you can do anything you want at any time, that's the most difficult thing in the world. Right? It's like having 300 channels on cable. I never know what to watch, right? I'm old school. I like when I had 3 channels. I'm like, okay, I can buy this, or I can buy this, right? You don't have the variety, but it's less stressful. And so, that is one of the main reasons to have, an approach. So you're not always having to fight with yourself. Should I not? Should I not? It's much easier just to say, okay, it doesn't fit my plan. And you can just let it go and not have to burn calories on it. So thank you for that, Murat. All right, well, okay, keeping in mind that this is not real-time data, we did buy DDM back here on the 26th of August. The previous day we closed under the 200. The day that I bought it, we closed above the 200. This is a mechanical approach. It's a good profitable quantified backtesting approach to trading the DDM. All you have to do, stay in it as long as it's above the 200, get out if it goes under. If it goes under, you're wrong small. If it keeps going up, you have the potential for a big win like we have had here. You can see this has been a monster trade. I phased all the way out here. You can't see today's bar, but I did hit 1 profit target. So I did take another portion of my position off. At this moment, let me see. All right, so at this moment, I am about out of 70% of this trade. So I only have 30% left. Can't see the bar, but we did hit 1 profit target today. So I'll just continue in this trade. I'll continue to phase out as long as it goes my way until I'm out of shares, or if it closes back below the 200. But it's a pretty good place to be in, having 70% of your position gone. And so only 30% doesn't cause a lot of anxiety because I've already locked in all these profits. So this has been a really, really great, nice trade. Google, we do have real-time data on Google, luckily, and I did buy Google back here on the 10th of September. I based this off of mechanical entry of Google of the 1030 SMA, which is a good back-tested approach to trading Google. If you were to trade this mechanically, you would just buy it here. You would stay in it until the 10 crossed below the 50. But because this is an individual stock and I don't like to hold through earnings, I entered here using the crossover. That's my mechanical crossover, but after I'm in, now I'm going to manage this discretionarily. So it's been a great trade. We bought it at 102.70. Currently it's at 1240.22. I think we did hit one profit target yesterday, and we hit two profit targets today. So I'm out of about 35% of this trade. So this is not a mechanical trade. This is a discretionary trade. So at this point, because we're so extended here, I'm certainly going to start to tighten up my stop. I'm going to look for red flags. What would a red flag be at this point? So a red flag would be either we come up and hit the 70 RSI and we get rejected at the 70 RSI. That would be one red flag. I would get out of all the position. To the downside, if we close below today's low, that would also be a reason for me to go ahead and just lock in profits. If we go above the third ATR channel, have a big up move and then big reversal down below the third ATR channel, that would also be a type of price action that would make me consider locking in the entire profit. So, on your trailing stops, it's not totally mechanical. There's a little bit of an art to it. When things start moving my way, I look for certain type of price actions as my indication to lock in profits. But there's no reason to do anything with this today. We've made a higher high, no sell-off. It's a 63.95 RSI, so this all looks fine. But like I said, tomorrow, if we went above the third ATR channel and had a big reversal back down on large volume, V1 to the downside, something like that, that would probably be enough for me to just go ahead and lock in profits. But this has been a really great trade so far. I mean, from entry to exit in 2 days, it's been almost 3%. So I'm very, very happy with that. And so we'll just, we won't do anything with Google unless the price action warrants it, right? So happy to have Google here today. Qs, we do have data for today, which is good. So I did buy the Qs back here on the 4th of September. I bought it based upon a crossover, the 5 EMA crossing over the 20 EMA. That's a good quantified, back-tested, profitable approach to trading the Qs. Each entry does not win, but the nice thing with these crossovers is, if you have a crossover that goes your way, you can really win big. If it immediately goes against you, you're going to have, a small loss, right? So it's open-ended to give you a probable small loss with the possibility of a large win. So I did buy it back here when the 5 crossed over the 20. This is a mechanical trade. I'm going to stay in this. It's not a discretion trade. I'm going to stay in this as long as the 5 stays over the 20. And as you can see, this has been a nice trade. We got in here. We've been scaling out, and did hit another one today. You can see today, though, we did go above the third ATR channel and then back down below it. If this was a discretionary trade, I might consider locking this in, maybe, right? But it's not. It's not a discretionary trade. It's a mechanical trade. So I have no discretion. I'm just either going to phase out to the upside until I'm out of shares, or the 5 crosses back below the 20. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. So the famous SPY trade. All right. So as you guys know, I do buy the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF each day at the close of the market, and I sell it first thing the next morning. And I do it every day, regardless of what the chart's doing, regardless of technicals. And you might ask, why would you do this? This is based upon a long-term study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest on Twitter. You have 2 options here. You can either, 1, buy the SPY at the open each day, sell at the close. So buy at the open, sell at the close, buy at the open, sell at the close. If you did this since 1993, you'd have actually returned a negative 13.9%. But if you did the opposite, you bought the SPY at the close each day, sold it at the open the next morning each day, buy at the close, sell at the open, buy at the close, sell at the open. From 1993, you would have actually returned a positive 634.2% return. So there's a big difference if you buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon, negative 13.9%. If you buy at the close, sell at the open, plus 634.2. So you might ask yourself, how is this possible? And it's possible because what's happening is that people are bidding up the prices of the SPY in the after hours. They're bidding them up in the pre-market, and they're selling them right into the open. That's what accounts for it. So the blue line here is the buy in the afternoon, sell in the morning. The orange line is the buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. You can see there is a clear edge to buying in the morning or buying in the afternoon, selling the next morning. If you buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon, you can see it does not do so well. So this is a perfect example, everybody, of using a trading approach and seeing that edge play out in the long run. There's bumps, there's ups and downs along this, as with any trading methodology. It's never going to go straight up. It's just a normal part of the distribution. But the key takeaway from here, everybody, is that you have to find a setup, an approach that gives you an edge. And in the long run, that edge should play out. But in the short run, anything can happen. So the key here is to play the long game, position size correctly so that you don't get too emotionally or financially beat up if you just happen to get in at the wrong time, and trust in your system, trust that in the long term it's going to pay off for you. So again, each trade is just one of 1,000 trades. Don't put too much energy into each one. Don't burn too many calories on each one. Don't risk your lifestyle or your count on any one trade, because you never know what's going to happen. So if you take anything away from this podcast, play the long game. Get better. Build your skill. Protect yourself. Take your trades when you're supposed to, but take a conservative position size and let that edge play out. All right. So with that being said, I did buy the SPY. Now the SPY is one where I have no data today. This was yesterday's data, but I did buy yesterday at 325. I sold today at 301.24. So not even sure where it's at right now. Let's take a look. 302.80. Oh no, sorry, 302.08. So it's up here right now. So it is higher than where we sold it, but that's our approach, right? Yesterday we made it a little bit. We bought here, sold here. I can't remember. It was 31 cents or something like that. And today, not too bad. Not too bad. So it's almost $1 overnight. So this has been a really good approach. I will be buying this again at the end of the day. Excuse me. SSO. So SSO is the double leveraged S&P 500. So the SPY is the overnight, and then the SSO is also the S&P, but it's the double leverage. But this is more of a long-term crossover approach. I did buy this back here on the 6th of September when the 10 EMA crossed over the 50 EMA. This is a good back-tested approach to trading SSO long-term. Doesn't win every trade, but again, you can get some really big wins and generally some small losses. So those big wins will help pay for all your little small losses and hopefully more. That's how it backtests. So I did buy it here, 128.66. I only bought a half a position here because the prices were above the 1 ATR channel at the time that I bought. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. For some reason. Okay. So I did buy it here, 128.86. And I did. Oh, I didn't mark that, unfortunately. Let's see. 134. Or 130, excuse me. And let me go back, make sure. I don't think I marked this one. 28.34. Oh, phew. All right. I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry. 132.02. $132.02. All right. Here we go. Sorry about that. So we bought it here with the 1050 EMA crossover. It's just kind of moved sideways today. We did hit one profit target today right here. The bar's not showing because it's not showing today's bar, but we did hit we did take one profit target off here as well. So right now, yeah, I'm out of about 20% of this position right here. So we bought it here, 128.66, and did hit one profit target today at 132.02, and that's right about where the price is right now. So as this is a mechanical trade, as long as the 10 stays above the 50, I'm going to keep it. If we continue up, I'll continue to phase till I'm out of shares. And because I bought a half position here, if we come back into the value zone and we're still underneath the 1050 EMA cross, I may add my second position. So I have the ability to do that because I only took a partial position up here because I didn't like where the prices were. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. XLF. Again, this is another one of the symbols that is not showing today. It's showing yesterday's price, but we did hit one profit target here today at 28.34. We bought this back here, another mechanical trade where the previous day we closed under the 200. The day that I bought it, we closed over the 200. If I was wrong, I would be wrong quickly to the downside with any close under the 200 giving me a small loss. If I'm right, have the possibility to be right big, and we have been right big on this move, you can see, and I've been phasing out all the way. I'm out of about I'm almost about out of 80% of this trade. Almost 80% of this trade. So I have been phasing out as we've moved up. We did hit one profit target today. Again, mechanical trade. So if it continues up, a couple more days up, I'll probably be out of shares, or to the downside, if it closes under the 200, I will be out. But the real key here is, the point I really want to make is, if you can take your entry very close to your stop, if you're wrong very small, but you have the possibility of having something like this happen. And that's what we did. And it's worked out really, really nice. So anyway, really great day today. Very happy for that. Did make a new yearly high again today. So grateful for that. And let me just make sure here. All right. Okie doke. All right. So, as you guys know, I like to do a little bit on trader psychology. It's the most important part of your trading skills, is working on managing your emotions. This is another great post from Thomas Paine. This is our friend Thomas Paine at Trader T Paine. He has some of the best posts as far as trading psychology and things to think about. I read his stuff every day. I would suggest you subscribe to him on Twitter and read his stuff, and hopefully internalize it. And the more you read this, the more this is going to be internalized, and it's going to change the way you think. But Thomas says, trading confidence isn't always built by making a ton of money. Sometimes you gain confidence by proving to yourself that you can survive the game. Some are scared of swimming but want to learn. Their confidence grows when they learn to tread water. They are surviving. And, as far as trading goes, this is so true. Don't worry about what other people are making, what you're making compared to other people. It doesn't matter. It's your own journey. If you're making progress, that's all that matters, whether it's trading or running or anything, right? Swing dancing, I don't know, right? But if you are treading water and breaking even in trading, let me tell you something, you are way ahead of the pack, everybody. So my concern is, maybe you're breaking even, maybe you're just up a little for the year and you see other people that are up more. That's fine. Doesn't matter. This is your life. This is your gain. You know if you're making progress. You don't have to compare yourself to somebody else. My concern is you think, okay, I've made this much. They've made that much. I want to be up with those guys. So what do? You make bigger bets on your trades. You take larger positions on your trades because you want to compete with someone else. And you know what happens when that happens. It never works, right? You increase your position, you're going to make worse decisions. So please don't worry about other people's results, how other people are doing. They may be doing great this year, but they may have had huge losses the year before. You never know. So just work on your game. Try to improve every day. You know, if you're breaking even on trading, you're ahead of 90% of the traders, right? So if you're breaking even, you're doing really well. And you're staying in the game, you're acquiring more experience, you're improving your skills, and eventually that will lead to better and better and better results. But you know, I've been wanting to say this for a while, but I just never remembered. But this post by Thomas, you know, kind of brought it to the forefront of my mind. But don't compete with other people. Does not matter what they're doing. You're on your own journey. Stick with your plan. Don't compete. Just do what you're supposed to do, stay in the game, improve your skills. So anyway, Thomas, thank you very much. That's Thomas at Trader T Payne. Please subscribe to him on Twitter and read his posts and his trading words of wisdom daily. I would really suggest it. So thank you, Thomas. Okay. So it's going to be a little challenging today without having all my charts. Hey, Frederick's here. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing? That's Frederick. That's our friend from France. So hope everything's going well. Hope you had a good bike show. Murat says, I read this. Attention to profit is a sign of trading immaturity, while attention to loss is a sign of trading experience. Oh, man, that's good, Murat. That's good. And it makes sense. You know, the way I view trading, I always, first and foremost, always, I look at the risk. When I look at something, I never think how much money I'm going to make on this. I'm thinking, okay, where's my stop going to be? How much money could I possibly lose? And I suggest you guys think the same way. Always, no matter what you're doing, put capital preservation first. If you're aware of risk, and that's your first and foremost priority is to limit risk, the rest will work itself out, I promise you. But if you start looking at profits first and ignoring risk, the risk is going to catch up. All right, so again, if you guys have just tuned in, for some reason my New York Stock Exchange data feed is not working today, so I have some symbols that do not show today's data. So I've marked the ones that we do have data on, and so it's going to be a little abbreviated. So Apple. So Apple's doing nicely. Closed above the third ATR channel. Looks like it did reject the 70 RSI today. Let's take a quick look. Right about at the top, it was about, yeah. So it looks like it did reject the 30 RSI. So if I had been in this trade, because it went above the 70 RSI, and if it closes below the 70 RSI, that would be my signal to get out. So this is a good example, everybody, of, you know, if you're in a nice trade, goes up, tests the 70, goes up above it intraday, and then closes back below, that is a good approach to saying, okay, it's rejected the 70. This is probably, you know, maybe it's going to move sideways from here. Who knows? You know, I have a friend that has a huge position in calls on this. He sold calls, right? He actually had covered calls. He has tons and tons and tons, millions of dollars worth of Apple, and he sells covered calls on these. His strike price for tomorrow is at 225, so he's really on the bubble. So if it closes above 225, anything above 225, you know, he's going to lose money because it's going to have intrinsic value above 225. So I'm kind of rooting for Apple to stay under 225 at least by tomorrow afternoon. But there's nothing here today, but this is a good example of if you were long on this for whatever reason, maybe like the 520 or something, crossover back here, we went above 70, and if we close back below, that would be a really good example of a rejection of the 70 and getting out of the trade. So nothing on Apple, excuse me. Adobe, luckily we do have data on Adobe today. Nothing here. We're poking our head, and it looks like we might close back into the value zone here, which is good, but there's really nothing here that interests me. We have earnings coming up, of course. Probably don't want to get involved right before earnings. It's just the policy I have. I never gamble on earnings, ever, ever, ever. And yesterday with Anthony, he was smart and he got out of his stock yesterday before earnings. He didn't want to, but he wanted to stick with his rules, and he did. Luckily, and it was down. I'm not sure what it's doing today, but I think it was down close to 10% after hours. So good move there. All right, AMD. I mean, we did have a V2 here today. Here's day one, day two. Day two did wash out day one, did go below the 1 ATR channel and back over. And looks like today is closing above day one's close. That's good. It did have a gap here. I don't like the gap so much. Looks like, might be closing over the 100-day moving average. So it's kind of a mixed bag here. It's a 4672 RSI. So 50 RSI is going to be, it may have rejected the 50 RSI already today. Let me see. Probably not. Probably didn't quite get there. 49.53. So yeah, nothing here for me at all. Amazon up nicely today. Way above the 1 ATR channel, which is good if you have the position. If you don't have a position, you generally don't want to initiate a trade up here. But there's really nothing I can buy on Amazon. What I'm waiting for on Amazon is, let me see if I can find this today, is the 550 SMA crossover. So we're a long ways away from that happening. So nothing on Amazon today. We did just have a really nice trade on Amazon. We bought it back here on the 26th of August with the close under the 200, close back over. Moved up. I then tightened my trailing stop to the 250 day. It went down below it intraday and then closed back over. And then you can see we got out here. This is the day that I got out. So it was a great trade from here, scaled all the way back over to here. Did go back down. It's a little higher than where we sold it now, but that's fine because we rotated into Google instead. But nothing on Amazon for me today. Look at Etsy. Etsy's beginning to be one of those stocks, and I think if you guys have been trading for a while, you understand what I mean. But sometimes there's a stock that has your number. You know what I mean? And Etsy is one of them. I haven't done too poorly on Etsy, but I keep missing the moves. But the move would have been right here when the previous day we were below 30 and back over 30. To go ahead and get in this trade, but I did not take this trade, but obviously I wish I would have. It's moved up nicely. So, we had this double bottom with the bullish divergence. See how deep we are here. This lower bottom, we're very shallow. That's showing momentum is running out. I just felt like this was a little high and we'd find some resistance at this previous range, but not so. Market did not care what I was looking for. It just went up. So at this point, what I would be looking for, now we're closing above the 1 ATR. That's good. I'd be looking for a bit of a pullback into the value zone, look for a V1 or a V2 entry, and go back up. So that is what I would be looking for. Because the people that bought down here, everybody, if they start seeing some weakness here, they're most likely going to get out and lock in profits. And that most likely will cause it to go down for a day or two. But if new buyers come in with a higher low, then the people that bought here sold here. And so you have an entire group of sellers gone, and that might make it easier to move back up. But nothing on Etsy today. Facebook's actually down today, so kind of a double top here. Doesn't like the 50 RS or the 50 moving average. Still closing above the 50 moving average, but really nothing on Facebook. The 1050 SMA is another good back-tested approach to trading Facebook, but we haven't quite got that crossover, so nothing there. 5 below has just been a monster, hasn't it? Up above the 200, up above the 3rd ATR channel. Looks like it did test the 70 RSI earlier today and moved back down. So if I was in this trade, I would have gotten out today. And the reason why, intraday we went above 70 and looks like at the moment we're going to close below 70. So this would be my exit point, and I know it's going to be an exit point for a lot of other people too. Google, we already talked about that. We hit 2 profit targets today on this. Again, I want to see how this reacts around the 30 ATR channel to the upside. I want to see how it reacts to that previous high. If it goes higher than that, see if it rejects the 70 RSI, but to the downside, close below the previous day's low. This has moved far enough away from my entry to start trailing this. So Google's doing great, nothing there, or nothing we have to do. IBB, I'm waiting for the 530 crossover. It's getting pretty close. This is a good back-tested, profitable approach to trading the IBB, but it's not quite there yet. So, if we get that crossover, that momentum crossover, I will take it. Conversely, if we get down to the 30 RSI, under the 30, back over the 30, I would consider buying a dip on that there. Intel, just chugging away, isn't it? 72.63 RSI. If I was in this trade, I would stay in it. It's just that if we closed, tomorrow we close under the 70, I would go ahead and get out. So nothing on Intel. Microsoft did gap up over all these this band of moving averages here. MACD, let's see. MACD is looking like it's going positive, but I don't think I'm going to buy. I mean, you could buy this. You could buy the momentum with the move over the 180 or the all the moving averages. You could do that. It gapped over all the moving averages. If you were to take it here, I would definitely put my stop here at the close of today's low, which would also be a close under the moving averages, but. I don't quite like buying gaps that much. It doesn't mean that it can't work for sure, but it's kind of range bound as well. So I'm just going to let this one go. Netflix, I mean, it's forming a bottom here. It's forming this base here. It's a 39.64 RSI. We're back in the value zone, which is good. MACD is positive. I mean, it's very likely that this could have a strong move up, but there's really no triggers for me. There's no real entry triggers for me. So there's really nothing I can do. PayPal. We talked a couple days ago about, the rejection of the 200 and then close back above. I remember saying, I'm not going to buy this here. It wouldn't be the worst, because if you were wrong, you're entering very close to where your stop would be. So that would make you wrong small with the potential up bid. I didn't take it because I already had Amazon, I think, or Google at the time. And I also had the Qs, so I didn't want to have too much NASDAQ exposure, but that would have worked out really well. Although it does look like, did we reject the 50 today? Not quite. So there's really no setup for me here. Of course, the Qs we hit the 1 profit target much higher earlier today. Looks like it's going to close under the 3rd ATR channel, which is not particularly bullish, I can tell you that. But this is a mechanical trade anyway, so there's no discretion here. Square. So let me see here on my other platform, 5802. I talked about Square. There's a couple things that I do like about this. I do like that we're forming this long sidewards base. I do like we're lower than the previous low. I do like that we don't even have any negative MACD bars to the downside. So it definitely is a double bottom with the bullish divergence, but I need a trigger. And I did the math here. With the price going under 30 and back over 30, that would be my signal. You're not seeing today's price, but I went out in the future with this little tool I have, 5770 is the 30 RSI, and right now we're at 5802. It's actually down today. It's down a couple percent today, and it got down to 5796. So it didn't quite get under 30. So we'll watch it tomorrow. But if we go under 30, close back over, I will take that because that's a signal. But I like the bigger context of what's going on here. Bottom, rally, lower low, positive MACD, go under 30, back over 30. That would be my signal. Doesn't mean it's going to go right back up, but it does mean that my risk to reward, I have a good risk to reward. If I'm wrong, I'm probably wrong small. If I'm right, I have the potential of being right 2, 3, 4 times the amount that I'm risking to the downside. TLT. Well. We have had quite the sell-off here. Looks like we're closing below the third ATR channel. So, where might this find some support? Well, let's look here on the weekly. Here's the high on the weeklies. This is back in July. This was a high. We went back down. That was the resistance. We broke through the resistance and moved up big since there. But, most likely we are, previous resistance can act as now support. So right here at this 133.80, I would expect there would be some support. This is 133.80 on the weekly. It would be back in the value zone on the weekly, which is good. On the daily, that 133.80 lines up right about down here. So, if we could come down here, go below the 100-day moving average, back over the 100-day moving average, let's see what the RSI would be. The RSI would be 2957 if it happened tomorrow. So right down in here is the area that I think would be really good. I mean, you'd have a confluence of the 100-day moving average most likely, along with the support of the previous high here. So right in this area, I think it's a pretty intelligent place to think about taking a position, but it's not there yet. So if it's not there yet, we don't want to front run it. We want to wait, right? So let's see what happens if we can get down here. I think that would be a good entry position, but it's not there yet. Tesla, this is the kind of bar I was talking about. I can't remember what it was now, but if we didn't quite get to 70, but we had some kind of bad price action around the third day channel. I mean, this isn't great. This is a V1 to the downside. Here's day 1, day 2 washes out day 1, closes below day 1. It's still holding above the third ATR channel, so that's good. But this kind of price action is a little bit suspect. That's really all I wanted to point out. It's a little bit suspect. We were much higher. People sold into it. Can it get back up there again? I don't know. But today already the market said no, right? So that's kind of how I look at these things. So, yeah. So I don't, on the limited charts that we have today, I don't really see anything at all that I'm interested in whatsoever. So let's quickly, so Google sold off a little bit there. The Qs have sold off a little bit. Again, see how we rejected the third ATR channel? So that's not particularly positive. All right, so let me see here. Murat says, like Warren Buffett's 2 trading rules. Rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule 1. That's right. Focus on risk. Keep your mind on risk at all times. If you do that and you respect risk and you avoid that risk, the rest will come. It's really as simple as that, everybody. All right, so listen, I know we don't have a lot to look at here. In the time remaining, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through some of these NASDAQ 100 stocks because I think I should have data on these because they're not from the New York Stock Exchange. American Airlines, look at this monster move. Nothing there. Apple, that's good for my friend. It's under 225 now. Adobe, we talked about. Analog, up above the 30 ATR channel, closed below. That's not particularly positive. Autodesk, nothing there. Boy, this is new for me. These are all new kind of charts. But, you know, I can look at this quickly and see whether there's something interesting. Not interesting. Not interesting. Not interesting. Amgen, not interesting. Amazon, not interesting. Little V1 here, but see how this bar is larger than 1 ATR, so that's not good. Celgene. So, you know, a lot of things just look pretty high here. It's not giving us a lot of good setups at this point, but we've had a big run, right? So there's nothing wrong with sitting back, having some smaller position sizes. There's really nothing wrong with this. Costco, okay, it's coming back down into the value zone. That might be something to look at in the future, but not right now. Cisco under the 200-day. CSX did break above the 200-day here, but it's at a 66 RSI, so it's too high. And for anyone that's just come in recently, I'm not getting my data feed today on the New York Stock Exchange, so I'm not going through the regular watch list that I look at. So I'm just going through the NASDAQ 100 here to see if anything possibly jumps out at us for potential for today. eBay, I haven't looked at eBay for a long time. Tell you one thing that I'd be interested in, and unfortunately VIX is part of the New York Stock Exchange, so I can't see what's going on with it. So VIX right now is at 2330. So VIX is here right now. And what would that put at for an RSI? That would put us at 39. You know, I've had some really good trades on VIX this year. And this blue line down here is because this, you know, down here at this previous support, before we had this big move up, you know, if we get down here, I will be eyeing VIX, I promise you. I did buy VIX back here on the July 25th. We had this nice V2. Here's day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 2 washes out day 1, day 3 closes above day 1, and also closed under the 30 back, under the 30 RSI, back over the 30 RSI, under the 30 ATR channel, back over the 30 RTA channel. And I had this monster trade on VIX. This was one of the biggest trades of the year. It was over 14%. So, you know, in the past, this has been somewhat of a floor for the VIX. So I think it's too early for me to take a look at anything today. But if we start getting down in here, I will be looking for some kind of V1 or V2. All right. Oh, we already looked at these. Intel, we haven't seen Intel for a while. Or Intuit, excuse me. Oh, Intuitive Surgical, I remember that company. JD.com. Lululemon. Mm-hmm. So, Microsoft did have the gap above all the moving averages. That is positive. On the negative side, we're still in the range here. We are above 50. That's positive. So to me, kind of mixed signals. Looks like we're closing below the open. That's not particularly bullish. So we have 4 minutes. I don't see anything here, guys, to be honest with you. So, let's just take a look at the current positions, at least the ones we can. I have no idea what's going on here, but it doesn't matter because it's a mechanical trade. But we did hit one profit target there. We hit 2 on Google, which is good. We hit 1 on the Qs, which is good. But this is not, this is mechanical, but this is not good. This rejection of the third ATR channel and the close below the open of the day. So we're above yesterday's close, but we are below the open of today and the rejection of the third ATR channel. So all in all, that's not super hot tamale, to be honest with you. So I am going to buy the S&P today for the overnight trade. But other than that, I think that's about it. And I apologize for this feed problem with the New York Stock Exchange, but hopefully they'll have it fixed tomorrow. And I'm grateful at least that all the positions I have, I really didn't need the charts for, and the ones that I did need to look at, I did have the charts for. But sometimes this happens, so it's good to have some redundancy. And I do have redundancy. I just can't, the way this is set up, I can't share it on the screen. So what do we have? We have a couple minutes left. Hey Frank, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, stick around because I want to ask you some questions and I want to get to your comments because those are good comments. Frederick says, do you buy other metals other than gold and silver? Not really. The liquidity in palladium and platinum, I remember Dr. Elder, he kind of cautioned me against it. There's not such great liquidity in those metals. So no, I don't. Gold is up today. Oh, Zanga. I actually had a question, Murat, today. Somebody emailed me about Zanga. Hey, nice going, buddy. I know Murat took a position in Zanga based upon some of his indicators, on balance volume being one of them. Beautiful day today, bud. Beautiful day. Congratulations. So... all right, so we got about 1 minute. So again, no trades today other than the new S&P trade today. So pretty light. I'm pretty light at this point because I've been phasing out so much. So I don't know. It feels good. I mean, at some point the market's going to sell off for a couple of days. Maybe, we don't know. But that's just my trading approaches. I take my positions, I phase out. I'd rather have less positions when it goes higher. Then keep building and building and building as the market goes higher. So, but that's just me. That's just my approach. All right, so we have about 10 seconds. All right, I'm just gonna hit.
Order partially filled.
I'm just gonna hit the thing.
Order filled. Order filled. Order cancelled.
All right.
Order cancelled.
So where did we get filled on the S&P? We got filled at 301.29. So that's the new entry on S&P. So we did enter yesterday here, got out today here at 301.42, and we have our new entry for today at 301.29. All right, so that's where the S&P closed today. All right, so listen, if you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know. Don't be shy, type them in the channel. There's no dumb questions. If it's something you're not sure about, please just type it in. I'll do my best to answer. But just real quick, I just want to put in my quick daily plug. Hope you guys don't mind, but I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching and mentoring lessons in the evening time via Skype. And I've had really good success with my clients. Generally it just starts with a free phone call, about a 30-40 minute phone call. I just want to know a little bit more about you. I want to understand, how you trade, what your process is, what your challenges are, what your goals are. And then if I feel like I can help you, then we'll set up the lessons. And what I have a 10-hour course. It's 5 2-hour one-on-one Twitter calls. So 2 hours at a time, 5 of those. I teach you everything that I know. And, based upon what you told me, I will create a specific lesson plan for that 10-hour course to help you achieve your goals. And I think one of the main advantages of the one-on-one compared to the live stream here is during the live stream, I'm the one talking. But during the one-on-one lessons, I teach, I ask questions. I teach, I ask questions, I make you teach it back to me, I throw curveballs at you, you know what I mean? I purposely try to mess you up because I want to know that you really have it. I've had really good success with my clients. I really have. I've turned I've had some people that have lost a lot of money and I've turned them around. So I enjoy it. I think it's a good investment. 10 hours one-on-one with me, I think is a good investment for you. And hopefully you make that money back quickly. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But I think you'd be in a better position to do it after the 10-hour course with me. So if it's of interest, let me know. The rates and everything are in the description of this video. My email's in the description of this video, or you can send me a message on Twitter and we'll just set up that 30-40 minute call and just see if we're a right fit. Anyway, that's that. And then lastly, if you like today's live stream, if you're learning something, please do me a favor. Just put your little arrow down there and click on the thumbs up button. It does help promote the channel out and helps it to get out to more people. And I do get a lot of emails from people saying, I'm really glad I found the channel. It's changed the way I think about trading. It slowed everything down for me. I'm not making as many rash decisions and I'm looking at risk. And so, that's why I started this channel. I sincerely want to help people trade better. And so, you can help me help other people find the channel by hitting the thumbs up button. So if you could, I really would appreciate it. So, all right, enough of that. So let me take a look here. Frank says, amazing, had the same thoughts on TLT earlier today. Just waiting. I am mostly in cash right now. Okay, I think that's a good, let me get back to my regular list here. I think that's a good approach, Frank. We talked about TLT, but it's important to look at things on multiple time frames. But when we looked here on TLT, the previous high on the weekly back here, we broke through. This should act as support. This price here, the 130.80 or 133.90 or 133.80, whatever it was, right back here in the value zone, that is good on the weekly. And then on the daily, that lines up with this previous high over here, and it lines up near the 30 ATR channel, the 30 RSI, and close to the 100-day moving average. So you have support from a previous high. It looks like you're going to have a confluence of a 30 RSI and a 100-day moving average. This would be a good spot. This would be a good spot. Doesn't mean the trade's going to work out, but it's a good educated guess as far as multiple signals. Support here, support at the 100-day moving average, support at the 30 RSI. So, let's be patient. Paste this on our wall. Remember to look at this. And if the price gets down here and we have some kind of entry, we're making this decision right now based there's no stress in it, right? We're not under the gun. This is not impulsive. We're thinking this through clearly. We don't have a position. This makes sense to me. So in the future, if it comes down here and it makes sense now, we might want to take that. Frank says, VIX has been luring me, definitely on the radar. Yes, I know. Just like I talked about, that price down there has held many, many times. And we had a huge explosion from there. So, the market's a little overbought right now, obviously. Right. So, it's not too crazy to think that if the market keeps going up, we may find, some support of the VIX down here. So, but not yet. I don't think it's time yet. But again, like with bonds, let's keep this on our radar. But again, this was one of the best trades I had of the year. I bought that thing right here and sold all the way up to there. So that was a wonderful trade. Murat says, is gray dash line on the charts 50-day moving average? That's a good question, Murat. So the thick gray line is the 50 simple moving average. But the dash gray line is the 50 exponential moving average. And the reason that I have it on here, and I know it clutters up the channel a little bit more, but the reason that I have it on here is I'm looking for 10 EMA, 50 EMA crosses. And I like to look at my chart and be able to look at everything instead of having to look through tons and tons and tons of chart because I might forget something. So the only reason that I have the dashed line on here is looking for 10, 50 EMA crosses. But most of the time I don't have to look at this. I just look at the gray line, the thick gray line here, which is the SMA. Does that make sense? Murat, Greg, Twitter is just at the perfect position to make V1, V2. Very close to the trend line. 4307 would be the place where trend line support will be tomorrow. All right, well, let's look. So there's your trend line, at least the way that I drew it. We are coming back into the value zone. We talked about that, Murat, which is good. It's a little high. It's a little high for me to take a V1, V2 here. And Anthony, if you're listening, this is things we were talking about in our other call, but I don't really like to take entries above the 1 ATR channel, even if they're still under, but barely under. I would prefer to get it back down in here, like a move back under the trend line and back over the trend line. That might be interesting. But it all depends what the price does tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, we had some support back here, even on the day. So I don't know. But I right down in here, if this particular trend line that I drew, if we can come back down, moving sideways for a couple more days, go down, reverse back up with the V1, V2, ideally takes out previous low, closes back above the trend line and back above the 20 EMA, that would be the best for me. Frank says patience pays. Totally, Frank. Patience is so important, everybody. I mean, as retail traders, as small retail traders, it's the biggest advantage that we have over the big boys. The big boys have so many advantages. They have more capital, they have more speed, they have more technology, they have more staff, they have more research, they have more everything. But the advantage that we have is we don't have to take a trade unless we really get a setup. They don't have that luxury. These financial institutions, they have to buy, they have order flow. They can't just sit back and wait. It's like Warren Buffett said, there's no 3 strikes rule in the market. You can just sit there at the plate and you can wait for the perfect pitch to come across before you swing. And these hedge funds and these large institutional financial institutions, they don't have that luxury. It's the number one edge we have is patience. So let's use it. We have a lot of things going against us with their speed and their money and all the other stuff I just talked about, but we have a huge edge with just having patience. Anthony says, in all ears. I'm not sure what that means, Anthony. What does that mean? And by the way, what was the stock yesterday that you got out of earnings? I know it wasn't XOM because that's Exxon. Can you tell me what that was? I'd like to see what that did today. OXM maybe? Let me see. OXM? Yes. Oh, okay. So this is on the New York Stock Exchange, so I can't get that one. Let's do it over here. Down 6.73. All right, so it rallied back a little bit, but still was the right decision. Definitely still was the right decision. So gold was up a little bit today. And let's see, what did VIX do? I mean, obviously VIX was down, I imagine, but probably off of its lows. Down 53, 45. Yeah, it got quite a bit lower. So the market did sell off a little bit towards the end for sure, didn't it? Yeah. Yeah, but I'm glad we got a profit target higher up there. And the Q's doesn't look so hot, honestly. So I'm glad we phased out what we did so far. Oh yeah, the Dow only ended up 45 points, so it was quite a sell-off at the end for sure. Ah, you're listening. Good. Well, I hope you have your ears open tonight. We're going to go through a lot of stuff. I'm going to throw a lot of curveballs at you. So get ready for that, right? So I'm looking forward to that. So 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. So you just call me on Skype and we will get down to business. All right. So how's everybody else doing out there? These last few days, what positions have you had? How are you doing? Have you been participating in this rally? I hope you have. Like I said earlier, it did hit a new yearly high today in the account, so I'm very happy for that. I'm very thankful for that. Always happy when I can extract some money out of the market, and that's really how I look at this. I really look at extracting a little here, extracting a little here, extracting a little here. Let me see. I'd love to look at Steve's positions, but a lot of his positions I can't look at because of my charts today, unfortunately. But he's had a monster couple days. So congratulations, Steve. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You know, I watch his weekly commentary that he does 3 times a week on his website, and I'm just going to show you that right here. So this is a great website. This is Steve's website, newtraderu.com. You know, he has this here. This is the weekly video newsletter. 3 times a week he goes through, analyze the market, and his watch list. And so I subscribe to this personally. I watch it every single week. He has some other he has some trading courses here that you can take, which are really good. I've taken them all. I promise you I have. And he has some really good articles that, I mean, listen, why not read these? They're free and they're going to help your trading. And, Steve's the real deal, everybody. So, if he publishes something, I promise you it's good. But it's newtraderu.com. You can follow him on Twitter at @SJosephBurns. He has great posts as well. So do yourself a favor, check out the site, check out his Twitter channel. And Steve is the real deal, everybody. He's a famous author, trader, mentor. He's been a mentor of mine. I've worked with him for a couple years, and I'm really glad he's taught me a ton of things. So I can't I can't thank Steve enough. All right. All right, so listen, going forward, you know, looking at the VIX, looking at TLT and Square, you know, honestly to me right now, Square looks the best. And the reason why is because we've made this big, big base. If we could just go down, wash out those sellers at the 30 RSI, come back up, create a V1, that would be good. As a matter of fact, everybody, I don't know if you remember, but Square... This is exactly the trade that I took. See how we had the low, we rallied, we came back down, made a lower low with a bullish divergence. Then we had this nice V2 under the 30, over the 30, under the 1 ATR channel, over the 1 ATR channel. But the point is here, you know, here's the previous low, move sideways, hurry spike down, reverse back up, and this was over a 14% trade for us. Oh, my gardener's here. Johnny, hey buddy, good to see you. Johnny says, sold my KO for a 2.25%. Sold my KO for 2.5%. Oh, good. Waiting for some bargain days to show up on my watch list. Yes, me too. Things are a little bit overextended in my opinion right here now, guys. So, you know, I'm pretty light on my positions, and I, like Johnny, am waiting for some pullbacks. So Coca-Cola is another one I can't look at because it's on the New York Stock Exchange. So Coca-Cola was up today. Nice going. Nice going. What did Boeing do today? I know you rotated out. Oh, daddy. Down $7 today. All right. All right. Well, good job on your trades, Johnny. Murat says, I have 4 positions. The 4th is Zynga, which I bought yesterday. I'm not a frequent trader. Yeah, yep, I know. But you had a great day on Zynga today. So excellent trade, Murat. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. I have a busy rest of my day, so I've got to get a head start. But Murat, thank you so much for coming by. Always appreciate your contributions and your inputs. Good to see you. Johnny, thank you. Thanks for letting me know what's going on with your trading. Frederick, good seeing you, my friend. Hope everything is well. Anthony, looking forward to seeing you tonight. Thank you for coming today. Frank, thank you for coming. And good input today as well. John, really good to see you again. Thank you for coming as well. And let's look at your typo. I'm going to be following your typo. That may have been an omen because this Realty Income Corporation is coming back into the value zone. So I'm going to watch that. Let's all watch that and see what happens. Marco, good to see you, my friend. Always great to see you. And thank you for coming. If there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. Steve Burns, thank you for coming. It's always an honor. And congratulations on your great trades that you've had. And I think that's it for today. Let me see. Johnny says UNH. Let's take a look at UNH. Well, unfortunately, UNH, I cannot see today's bar. Oh, geez. It's down $4 today to 230.10. So that means today... So we're back down right about here. Glad I didn't buy that yesterday. I was considering that with the V1, but it didn't really look that great. So now we're back down here. So yeah, Yeah, maybe healthcare is something that we want to look at. It's not as overextended as the rest of everything else right now. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate it. Sorry about the problems with the data feed today. Hopefully we'll have that resolved tomorrow. Go out, do something nice for somebody. Just say hello. Just give them a hi. Give them a wave. Be nice. Just something. We need more of that in this world, right? Johnny said UNH had a sell-off, and I'm keeping it long-term. All right. Yeah, it's down there. It's down there a ways. So, and it looks like it's at least it's starting a range, and it looks like it's catching some support there. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for coming today. If you have any questions that I didn't get to or that you didn't think of, feel free, send me an email, send me a message on Twitter, and I'm happy to reply. So have a great rest of your day, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.